Have you ever wondered what the greatest part of having your own channel is, and actually getting some interaction from, the people who take the time to watch it? Let me tell you, it's not the fame and fortune. Yes, I love, when I go out into the community and they're like, oh my God, I saw your stacking channel and, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, that gets old. It's always nice, but, yeah, that's not really what you do it for. What you do it for is the comments. The comments are amazing. Why? Because everyone hears what you're saying differently, and so they have different perspectives and they bring something different to it. Think of it like, you're looking through a different lens and you're hearing the same thing, but it means something different to you. The comments are gold. Why? Okay, so for example, yesterday when I was talking about the different stacking channels, and how they all have different things, and of course I was going to my usual suspects as far as people that I like to comment on, for example Yankee stacking. And one of the interesting things that kept popping up as far as my comments about Tim the coin dealer was, it's so interesting, and I never thought of it like this, but if a coin dealer really believed, for example, as Tim does, about the collapse of society and the dollar, and Joe Biden is coming for your money, and the whole system's going to collapse. If they really believe that, why would you take fiat as payment? Why don't you take other things that you needed as payment instead of fiat? It kind of doesn't make sense. It's like, for example, let me give you the stacker version of that. It's like if you ran a business, some type of metals business, but you allowed yourself to be paid in crypto. How many stackers would allow that? They'd be like, hell no, that's garbage. That means nothing to me. Even if it's can gain in value, I don't want that. I don't want that anywhere near me. Well, Chris, they have to, because it's a necessary evil. They have to, accept fiat so they could turn around and put it right back into metals. No, that's actually not true. I mean, it's a realistic, logical explanation to that question, right? But, I mean, is that really the answer? Would a stacker take, crypto to pay for their stack as payment? Hell no, they wouldn't. So then why does the coin dealer take, for example, Tim, and I'm going to use Tim because Tim is the most outspoken dude out there, just, railing against the government and, the demon rats and, everybody else who's going to take away your money, and collapse the system. But yet he takes the very token symbol of that system as payment for, this savior of your financial picture. Why would you do that? Like I said, no stacker would take crypto, or at least most stackers wouldn't take crypto as payment. So why does Tim, if he believes that fiat is, the enemy and the devil, why does he take it as payment? That question popped into mind from a comment that one of you made regarding, hey, this guy's saying that, the fiat is the root of all evil, and yet he takes it as payment. And again, with all of that logic, it's like, yeah, every part about Tim makes perfect sense. The more that he can create that fear narrative, the more that he can sell you on the doomsday scenario, the more metals he sell. Makes perfect sense. And I get it. I respect it. Let's go as far as saying I respect it, because that's good salesmanship, right? That's good salesman. That's good sales. I respect it. But as far as, is that coin dealer really looking out for your best interest? Not so much. Why? Because if he really was, then he would take the time to tell you, hey, metals aren't the end all to be all. You need the different things, and he would go through that. You don't need to be a financial advisor to tell it like it is. But Tim never does that. Tim spends his time just railing about, this and that, and this is wrong, and blah, 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 blah. Another coin dealer would be, like, example would be Spectacular's coin dealer. I like Spectacular's coin dealer. Well, first, he's a little more of a happy guy versus a doom and gloom like Tim. But he's a coin dealer, so of course he's going to have a lot of the same, beliefs as, kind of right down Tim's alley. And I respect that. Again, we're all different. We all have different views. It is what it is, right? No one person is right, and so we're all entitled. We're all Americans. We're definitely entitled. That's the putting it mildly. But anyway, like for example, Spectacular's coin dealer, coin guy, He kind of echoes those same sentiments. But I feel like, if I went into Coin Guy's shop, I feel like I would leave feeling like this guy's, gonna kind of do right by me. Not that Tim wouldn't, but Tim he just has that look, and he has that I don't know. He's got that aura about him that, he's saying one thing, but really, he may not be all about that. It's crazy. It's crazy. And again, that's just my own personal view. I have no clue. But when I see these hokey videos, from Yankee, where, like, for example, there was one a few months back where this guy traveled from a few states away to come buy $100,000 worth of silver from Tim. And of course, Tim's all smiles because this guy, came all this way to purchase from him. And it's hilarious because it's like, okay, that's perfectly fine. That's great. That kind of stuff, I'm sure, happens pretty regularly. But the interesting part is, like, that Yankee was talking about how he helped this guy out to his truck with $100,000 worth of bullion. And I'm just sitting there thinking, if I was going to purchase $100,000 worth of bullion, I probably wouldn't want help from some random dude from YouTube or, just anybody in general. I would want very few people to know, that I made this purchase, first of all. And then secondly, to know anything about me as far as, like, my license plate or anything like that, or tell them roughly where I live. Ridiculous, you know what I mean? Like, so the whole thing was just kind of either, like, kind of scripted to me, or just no common sense, really. Like, I don't care if you're a millionaire or what, like, when you're driving around with $100,000 worth of something, you really probably don't want people to know much about that. Anyway, side note, this is one of my favorite coins, the Incuse Maple. Interesting coin, love it. Actually, yes, it is one of my favorite coins. But again, these kind of things with regard to, like, the coin shop dealers, do they really have your best interest? Like, when I watch, for example, T, and he's talking to Sherry, I feel like Sherry's not going to BS me. And then, like, the things that T talks about with Sherry as far as silver and gold, like, she tells it no nonsense. Like, no, it's not, you can easily lose money. It's not the greatest, there's going to be premiums. And no, you don't want to be putting all your money into that. How many times do you hear that from Tim? You never hear that kind of stuff from Tim. Tim's ready to take your money hand over fist. It's just, a different vibe. And I feel like, like I said, like, spectacular coin guy, I feel like I get the vibe that, again, he would do right by you. Like, he's not there to, shiest you in any way. But it's just crazy. Like, the coin shop that I used to go to fairly regularly, like, the guy, he is kind of, not stern, but he was just, like, kind of like no nonsense. He would just tell you straight out, like, this is garbage, that's garbage, whatever. I did get the vibe there that, there were people there who were kind of unscrupulous as far as, like, jacking prices up on, depending on who was in there. Because I would hear their conversations with different people, and it was like, you just said something to one person, but it's different to the other person. So, yeah, I've seen that kind of thing go down in the coin shop, and obviously that piqued my interest because, no one wants to see that happen to other people. But especially, yourself, like, you want to be at least aware of it. That being said, at least when you can go in there with that knowledge and know, okay, I have to kind of be on guard and take what's being told to me with a grain of salt, like, trust but verify, if you will. These are all things, and again, this line of thought came from the comments from the previous video because, again, there's nothing wrong with Yankee stacking. He makes great content. He brings up a lot of great points, that kind of thing. But, like, the fact that his channel is basically just Tim rattling off, his points of view. And again, there are plenty of people on YouTube or in society in general who just love to go down rabbit holes. It could be anything. It could be UFOs. It could be government conspiracy, pandemic, whatever. Pick your poison. There's plenty of people who will go down that rabbit hole full throttle and swallow it whole. So, to each their own. But when you're dealing with your own money and these kind of things, like, you have to be careful. You can't just, take a internet personality's word for it, as we've seen time and time again. Look at the FTX crypto thing. These people didn't even know anything about crypto, but they're over there putting their name behind it. Same offenders, same people keep doing it again, and then they do real estate, or they do this, or it's crazy. But there's a never ending, they say a sucker's born every day. Thousands of suckers are born every day. It's just the world that we live in. How do you not end up being one of them? I mean, simple things like that, like understanding that the coin dealer is not necessarily in your corner. The only person who's in your corner is you.